Ecclesia, Ecclesia Católica. Awamai ya Católica mpingo amaokota. Ecclesia, ibe abambo a Católica mpingo timani.
Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ. And welcome to this live stream broadcast of Pope Leo XIV's Wednesday General Audience. It's being held today in St. Peter's Square. My name is Devin Watkins, and I'll be providing the English language commentary and translation for this papal audience. As we go live, the Holy Father has completed, or nearly completed, his drive through the aisles here set up in St. Peter's Square to greet the faithful who have come out for this weekly general audience. From wherever you are joining us, I'd like to welcome you to this live broadcast. Some of you may be joining us through our various Vatican media channels, perhaps the Vatican News app or the Radio Vaticana app, the Vatican News web portal, English YouTube channel, or our Facebook Live feed. We also welcome all of you who are joining us through our television partners, especially EWTN TV, Catholic Faith Network in America, Salt and Light TV, Radio Maria England, Shalom World TV, Atma Darshan TV, Catholic TV, Luminous Radio in India, and Radio Maria Papua New Guinea. We also welcome all of you who are joining us through various radio stations, diocesan radio stations, and all of our radio partners and internet sites throughout the world. A very warm welcome to you all. And finally, a warm welcome to our friends from the Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas, DCYIA. Please visit our Vatican News YouTube channel to find translation in American Sign Language or ASL. As we begin this weekly general audience, Pope Leo is making his way on the Pope Mobile up to the steps of in front of St. Peter's Basilica. The Vatican announced yesterday that the Holy Father will be spending a few weeks this summer in Castel Gandolfo at the papal residence there. He will spend around half of July and a weekend in August in the hills just south of Rome. This was a tradition for many of the popes to take their summer holidays in the papal residence at Castel Gandolfo. It's up in the hills, and he will spend 2 weeks in July, and many of the general audiences will be closed. And the Holy Father will begin this general audience with the liturgical greeting now, and we join him for that.
Il Santo Padre dà ora inizio all'udienza generale, introducendola con il segno della croce e il saluto liturgico. Disponiamoci ad accogliere la sua parola.
And we prepare to listen to the Holy Father's words, catechesis.
Nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo, la pace sia con voi.
Dal Vangelo secondo Giovanni.
We will now hear a portion of the Gospel, a passage read in various languages. It's taken from the Gospel of John, chapter 5, verses 2 through 9. The Holy Father today is reflecting and continuing his catechesis series on the Jubilee and Jesus Christ our Hope, which was begun by the late Pope Francis earlier this year. And he's focusing today on the life of Jesus, the parables, and today especially, as we'll hear in the Gospel, the healing of the paralytic. Especially Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time. He said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" This is the focus for the Holy Father's catechesis. And now we will hear the Gospel read in French and English and various other languages.
De l'Évangile selon Saint Jean. Or, à Jérusalem, près de la porte des brebis, il existe une piscine qu'on appelle en hébreu Bethsata. Elle a 5 colonnades sous lesquelles était couchée une foule de malades, aveugles, boiteux et impotents. Il y avait là un homme qui était malade depuis 38 ans. Jésus, le voyant couché là et apprenant qu'il était dans cet état depuis longtemps, lui dit « Veux-tu guérir ?» Le malade lui répondit « Seigneur, je n'ai personne pour me plonger dans la piscine au moment où l'eau bouillonne. Et pendant que j'y vais, un autre descend avant moi. » Jésus lui dit « Lève-toi, prends ton brancard et marche. » Et aussitôt, l'homme fut guéri. Il prit son brancard, il marchait. Or, ce jour-là était un jour de sabbat. Parole du Seigneur.
A reading from the Gospel according to John. Now in Jerusalem by the sheep gate there is a pool, called in Hebrew Bethesda, which has 5 porticos. In these lay many invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. And while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Stand up, take your mat, and walk." At once the man was made well, and he took up his mat and began to walk. The word of the Lord.
And now the same gospel passage will be read in German and then in Spanish.
In Jerusalem gab es beim Schaftor einen Teich, zu dem 5 Säulenhallen gehören. Dieser Teich heißt auf Hebräisch Bethesda. In diesen Hallen lagen viele Kranke, darunter Blinde, Lahme und Verkrüppelte. Dort lag auch ein Mann, der schon 38 Jahre krank war. Als Jesus ihn dort liegen sah und erkannte, dass er schon lange krank war, fragte er ihn: "Willst du gesund werden?" Der Kranke antwortete ihm: "Herr, ich habe keinen Menschen, der mich, sobald das Wasser aufwallt, in den Teich trägt. Während ich mich hinschleppe, steigt schon ein anderer vor mir hinein." Da sagte Jesus zu ihm: "Steh auf, nimm deine Liege und geh." Sofort wurde der Mann gesund, nahm seine Liege und ging. Wort des lebendigen Gottes.
Lectura del Santo Evangelio según San Juan. Junto a la puerta de las ovejas en Jerusalén hay una piscina llamada en hebreo Bethesda, que tiene 5 pórticos. Bajo estos pórticos yacía una multitud de enfermos, ciegos, paralíticos y lisiados que esperaban la agitación del agua. Había allí un hombre que estaba enfermo desde hacía 38 años.
Portuguese.
在耶路撒冷靠近阳门有一个水池，希伯来语叫做贝特杂达，周围有5个走廊。在这些走廊内躺着许多患病的、瞎眼的、瘸腿的、麻痹的，都在等候水动。因为有天使按时下到水池中，搅动池水。水动后，第一个下去的，无论他患什么病，必会痊愈。在那里有一个人患病已38年，耶稣看见这个人躺在那里，知道他已病了多时，就向他说：“你愿意痊愈吗？”那病人回答说：“主，我没有人在水动的时候把我放到水池中，我正到的时候，别人在我以前已经下去了。”耶稣向他说：“起来，拿起你的床，行走吧。”那人便立刻痊愈了，拿起自己的床，行走起来。以上是基督的福音。
Leitura do Evangelho segundo São João. Existe em Jerusalém, perto da Porta das Ovelhas, uma piscina com 5 pórticos, chamada Betesda, em hebraico. Muitos doentes ficavam ali deitados, cegos, coxos e paralíticos. De fato, um anjo descia de vez em quando e movimentava a água da piscina, e o primeiro doente que aí entrasse, depois do borbulhar da água, ficava curado de qualquer doença que tivesse. Aí se encontrava um homem que estava doente havia 38 anos. Jesus viu o homem deitado e, sabendo que estava doente há tanto tempo, disse-lhe: "Queres ficar curado?" O doente respondeu: "Senhor, não tenho ninguém que me leve à piscina quando a água é agitada. Quando estou chegando, outro entra na minha frente." Jesus disse: "Levanta-te, pega a tua cama e anda." No mesmo instante, o homem ficou curado, pegou sua cama e começou a andar. Palavra da salvação.
The Gospel is now being read in Arabic and then in Polish to conclude.
عند باب الغنم يقال لها بالعبرية بيت ذات، ولها 5 أروقة يضجع فيها جمهور من المرضى بين عميان وعرج وكسحان. وكان هناك رجل عليل منذ 38 سنة، فرآه يسوع مضجعا، فعلم أن له مدة طويلة على هذه الحال، فقال له: أتريد أن تشفى؟ أجابه العليل: يا رب، ليس لي من يغطني في البركة عندما يفور الماء، فبينما أنا ذاهب إليها ينزل قبلي آخر. فقال له يسوع: قم فاحمل فراشك وامشي. فشفي الرجل لوقته، فحمل فراشه ومشى. كلام الرب.
Z Ewangelii według świętego Jana. W Jerozolimie zaś jest przy Owczej Bramie sadzawka, nazwana po hebrajsku Betesda, mająca 5 krużganków. Leżało w nich mnóstwo chorych, niewidomych, chromych, sparaliżowanych. Znajdował się tam pewien człowiek, który już od lat 38 cierpiał na swoją chorobę. Gdy Jezus ujrzał go leżącego i poznał, że czeka już dłuższy czas, rzekł do niego: Czy chcesz wyzdrowieć? Odpowiedział mu chory: Panie, nie mam człowieka, aby mnie wprowadził do sadzawki, gdy nastąpi poruszenie wody. W czasie, kiedy ja dochodzę, inny wstępuje przede mną. Rzekł do niego Jezus: Wstań, weź swoje nosze i chodź. Natychmiast wyzdrowiał ów człowiek, wziął swoje nosze i chodził. Oto słowo Pańskie.
And now, having heard the Gospel in various languages, the Holy Father will offer his catechesis for this general audience.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, continuiamo a contemplare Gesù che guarisce.
Dear brothers and sisters, let us continue to contemplate Jesus who heals. In a particular way, I would like to invite you to think about the situations in which we feel blocked and stuck in a dead end. At times, in fact, it seems to be pointless to continue to hope. We become resigned and no longer have the desire to fight. This situation is described in the Gospels with the image of paralysis. This is why today I would like to dwell on the healing of a paralytic, narrated in the 5th chapter of the Gospel of John.
Gesù va a Gerusalemme per una festa dei Giudei.
Jesus goes to Jerusalem for a feast of the Jews. He does not immediately go to the temple. Instead, he stops at a door where the sheep were probably washed before being offered as a sacrifice. Near this door, there were also many sick people who, unlike the sheep, were excluded from the temple because they were considered unclean. And so it is Jesus himself who reaches out to them in their suffering. These people hoped for a miracle that might change their fate. Indeed, next to the door there was a pool whose waters were considered thaumaturgical, that is, capable of healing. At certain moments, the water would stir, and according to the belief of the time, whoever immersed themselves first would be healed.
Si veniva a creare così una sorta di guerra tra I poveri.
In this way, a sort of war among the poor came to be created. We can imagine the sorry scene of these sick people who wearily dragged themselves to enter the pool. That pool was called Bethzatha, which means house of mercy. It could be an image of the church, where the sick and the poor gather, and where the Lord comes to heal and give hope.
Gesù si rivolge specificamente a un uomo che è paralizzato da ben 38 anni.
Jesus specifically addresses a man who has been paralyzed for some 38 years. By now he is resigned because he never manages to immerse himself in the pool when the water stirs. In effect, what paralyzes us very often is disappointment. We feel discouraged and risk falling into apathy.
Gesù rivolge a questo paralitico una domanda che può sembrare superflua.
Jesus asks the paralytic a question that may seem superfluous. Do you want to be well? Instead, it is a necessary question, because when one is stuck for so many years, even the will to heal may fade. Sometimes we prefer to remain in the condition of sickness, forcing others to take care of us. It is sometimes also an excuse for not deciding what to do with our lives. Jesus instead takes this man back to his truest and deepest desire.
L'uomo infatti risponde in modo più articolato alla domanda di Gesù.
Indeed, this man replies in a more articulate way to Jesus' question, revealing his true vision of life. He says, first of all, that he has no one to immerse him in the pool. So he is not to blame, but the others who do not take care of him. This attitude becomes the pretext for avoiding responsibility. But is it really true that he had no one to help him? Here is St. Augustine's enlightening answer. Truly, he had need of a man to his healing. But that man, one who is also God. He came then, the man who was needed. Why should the healing be delayed? The paralytic then adds that when he tries to immerse himself in the pool, there is always someone who arrives before him. This man is expressing a fatalistic view of life. We think that things happen to us because we are not fortunate, because destiny is against us. This man is discouraged. He feels defeated in the struggle of life.
Gesù invece lo aiuta a scoprire che la sua vita è anche nelle sue mani. Lo invita a
Instead, Jesus helps him discover that his life is also in his hands. He invites him to get up, to raise himself up from his chronic situation and to take his stretcher. That mat is not to be left or thrown away. It represents his past of sickness, his history. Until that moment, the past had blocked him. It had forced him to lie like a dead man. Now it is he who can take that mat and carry it wherever he wishes. He can decide what to make of his history. It is a matter of walking, taking responsibility for choosing what road to take. And this is thanks to Jesus.
Carissimi fratelli e sorelle, chiediamo al Signore.
Dear brothers and sisters, let us ask the Lord for the gift of understanding where our life is stuck. Let us try to give voice to our desire to be healed. And let us pray for all those who feel paralyzed, who do not see a way out. Let us ask to return to dwell in the heart of Christ, who is the true house of mercy.
Très Saint-Père, les fidèles de
And those were the words in the catechesis of Pope Leo XIV as he continues his catechesis on the theme Jesus Christ our hope. And now we will hear a summary of the Holy Father's catechesis in various languages, first in French. Remember, the Holy Father is reflecting on the parable of Jesus' healing of a paralytic.
Il bénira également les chapelets et les autres objets de dévotion que vous avez apportés à cette intention. Voici le résumé de la catéchèse que vient d'exposer Sa Sainteté le Pape Léon XIV. Chers frères et sœurs, la guérison du paralytique relatée par Saint Jean nous permet de réaliser combien un blocage ou un repli sur soi peut faire de nous des êtres résignés, sans véritable espérance. C'est le cas de certains malades et du paralytique que Jésus vient rejoindre dans leur souffrance. Ces personnes attendent un prodige, autrement dit que l'eau de la piscine de Bethsata, réputée thaumaturgique, les guérisse, pour peu qu'ils s'y immergent en premier. Cette piscine nous fait penser à l'Église par laquelle le Christ vient guérir, rendant ainsi et l'espoir et l'espérance. Le dialogue de Jésus avec le paralytique est révélateur, car la condition pour recevoir la guérison offerte par le Christ est bien dans le désir, dans la volonté de guérir et ainsi de reprendre en quelque sorte sa vie en main, sans la faire dépendre uniquement des autres. À présent, Sa Sainteté va saluer en italien les francophones.
Saluto cordialmente i pellegrini di lingua francese, in particolare i fedeli della Costa d'Avorio, del Senegal, della Repubblica Democratica del Congo e della Francia, tra cui un gruppo degli Amici di Compostela e Roma, il Liceo Notre-Dame d'Orvaux e numerosi studenti di diversi collegi. All'approssimarsi della festa del Corpus Domini, ravviviamo la nostra fede in questo grande mistero dell'Eucaristia e uniamo le nostre voci ai canti di rendimento di grazie della Chiesa. Dio vi benedica.
En s'adressant aux francophones,
I warmly greet the French-speaking pilgrims, especially the faithful from Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and France, including a group of Friends of Compostela and Rome, the Notre Dame d'Orvaux High School, and many students from various schools. As the feast of Corpus Christi approaches, let us rekindle our faith in this great mystery of the Eucharist and unite our voices with the Church's songs of thanksgiving. May God bless you.
Au chant d'action de grâce de l'Église. Que Dieu vous bénisse.
Most Holy Father, the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors wish to express to you their sentiments of deep respect and esteem, and to assure you of their prayers for your ministry as successor of Peter. At the end of the audience, we will sing together the Our Father in Latin. His Holiness will then impart his apostolic blessing, which he extends in a particular way to the members of your families at home. He also intends to bless any religious articles you might have brought for this purpose, and in a special way, his blessing goes to your children, the elderly, and those who are sick.
Dear brothers and sisters, in our continuing catechesis on the Jubilee theme of Jesus Christ, our hope, we now consider Jesus' miraculous cure of the paralytic at the pool of Bethesda. Many physically disabled people came to bathe there in hope of a cure, yet Jesus chose that man who had been paralyzed for 38 years and was unable to enter the pool by himself. Jesus' question to him, "Do you want to be healed?" was penetrating. It challenged the paralytic's sense of helplessness and resignation and invited him to hope that his life could be changed. Jesus tells him to stand, take up his mat, and walk. The mat was, in fact, the symbol of the man's past paralysis, physical and spiritual, which he can now accept and leave behind as he begins his new life. In this Jubilee of Hope, may we remember in our prayers all those who suffer and feel tempted to discouragement. Whatever problems or setbacks we may face in life, let us turn to Jesus, acknowledge our desire for healing, and accept his promise of freedom and newness of life. I greet all the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors taking part in today's audience, particularly the groups from England, Northern Ireland, Norway, Cameroon, Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, Indonesia, the Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, Canada, and the United States of America. My special greeting goes to the members of the Hope 80 International Delegation at the start of the Flame of Hope pilgrimage as they seek to promote reconciliation and peace in this year marking the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War. May the light of divine love and fraternity always burn brightly in the hearts of the men and women of our one human family. Upon all of you and upon your families, I invoke the Lord's gifts of wisdom, strength, and joy. May God bless you.
Heiliger Vater, die Gläubigen deutscher Sprache möchten Ihnen ihre herzliche Zuneigung und aufrichtige Verbundenheit bekunden und versichern Sie zugleich Ihre
is now being greeted by the name of the German-speaking pilgrims. We will also hear the catechesis summarized in German, and then the Holy Father will greet German-speaking pilgrims.
Angehörigen ein, besonders die Kinder, die älteren Menschen und die Leidenden. Er segnet auch die Rosenkränze und die übrigen Andachtsgegenstände, die Sie dafür mitgebracht haben. Es folgt nun eine Zusammenfassung der Katechese des Heiligen Vaters in deutscher Sprache. Liebe Brüder und Schwestern, heute betrachten wir die Perikope von der Heilung eines Gelähmten am Teich von Bethesda, unweit des Jerusalemer Tempels. Viele Kranke kamen dorthin in der Hoffnung, beim zeitweiligen Auffallen des Wassers geheilt zu werden. Unter ihnen war auch ein Mann, der seit 38 Jahren gelähmt war. Er war entmutigt, weil es ihm ohne fremde Hilfe nicht gelang, im richtigen Moment in das Wasser zu steigen. Die Frage Jesu, willst du gesund werden, weckte in ihm neu den Wunsch, sein Leben selbstständig zu gestalten. In Jesus begegnet der Gelähmte dem hilfsbereiten Mitmenschen, auf den er bisher vergeblich gewartet hatte. Zugleich aber begegnet er in ihm auch Gott selbst, der die Macht hat, ihn von seiner körperlichen wie auch von seiner seelischen Lähmung zu befreien. Der Heilige Vater richtet nun einen kurzen Gruß auf Italienisch an die deutschsprachigen Gläubigen.
Cari fratelli e sorelle di lingua tedesca, l'imminente solennità del Corpus Domini rinnovi la nostra fede nel Signore Eucaristico, realmente presente tra noi sotto le specie del pane e del vino. Egli ci dia la forza di vincere ogni scoraggiamento per poter compiere sempre la sua volontà.
Der Heilige Vater hat gesagt:
Dear German-speaking brothers and sisters, may the upcoming solemnity of Corpus Christi renew our faith in the Eucharistic Lord, who is truly present among us under the appearances of bread and wine. May He grant us the strength to overcome life's disappointments and always do His will.
Und stets seinen Willen zu tun.
And now the Holy Father will be greeted in the name of the Spanish-speaking pilgrims. And as we know, the Holy Father served for many years as a missionary in Peru. And so we'll read the summary himself of his catechesis and then offer greetings in Spanish to the faithful.
Al final de este encuentro se encantará el Padre Nuestro en latín. Después, su santidad impartirá a todos los presentes la bendición apostólica que extiende complacido a sus familiares, especialmente a los niños y a los ancianos, a los enfermos y a cuantos sufren. Bendice también los rosarios y objetos de devoción que los peregrinos llevan consigo.
Queridos hermanos y hermanas, en la catequesis de hoy nos detenemos en el relato del paralítico de la piscina de Bethsaida, que nos revela a Jesús como aquel que sana. La actitud de este hombre paralizado desde hacía 38 años nos hace pensar cómo a veces también nosotros nos resignamos, perdemos la esperanza y dejamos de luchar. A su parálisis física se agregaba una peor, la parálisis de la desesperanza. El Señor va a Jerusalén, pero su primer destino no es el templo, sino que se dirige a los excluidos que yacen cerca de la puerta. Y al notar la situación de ese hombre, le hace una pregunta que a simple vista podría parecer superflua, pero con la cual busca hacerlo volver a su deseo más profundo y verdadero. ¿Quieres curarte? El enfermo responde culpando a otros y mostrando una visión fatalista. Señor, no tengo a nadie que me sumerja. Mientras yo voy, otro desciende antes. Jesús lo ayuda a descubrir que el presente está en sus manos. Lo invita a levantarse, a tomar su camilla, símbolo de su pasado, y a caminar. Así el pasado ya no lo detiene y su presente se transforma, porque ahora camina junto al mismo Dios que vino a su encuentro. Saludo cordialmente a los peregrinos de lengua española.
I warmly greet the Spanish-speaking pilgrims, especially the groups coming from Spain, Mexico, Honduras, Chile, and Argentina.
Jesús nos pregunta también a nosotros.
Jesus asks us too, do you want to be made well? Let us not be afraid to recognize our inner paralysis or to present our discouragements to the Lord. Let us ask the Blessed Virgin Mary to help us respond with faith to the call of Jesus, who invites us to rise and walk with hope for the new life He offers us. Thank you very much. We now move to the Mandarin Chinese greetings to the Holy Father and the summary of catechesis.
并为您普世宗徒使命的全部意向祈祷。公开接见的最后，我们一起用拉丁文唱天主经。最后，圣父教宗将颁赐宗座辖服，并特别降福儿童、老人和受苦的人。教宗还将祝圣每一位随身携带的玫瑰念珠和圣物。以下是教宗在公开接见开始时讲授的要理摘要。亲爱的弟兄姐妹们，我们继续进行耶稣基督我们的希望为主题的喜年要理讲授。今天我们回顾耶稣在贝特匝达水池旁奇迹般地治好那位无助的瘫子。当时在水池旁有许多身负残疾的人，等待时刻下到池中沐浴，希望能够获得治愈。然而耶稣却选中了那位瘫痪了38年之久，无法自己下到水池中的男子。耶稣问他：“你愿意痊愈吗？”这是个令人深思的问题。他挑战了那位瘫子的无力和认命的心态，并邀请他怀有希望，让他意识到自己的生命能有所改变。耶稣对他说：“起来，拿起你的床，行走吧。”这张床实际上是这个人经历过身心瘫痪的象征。现在他能接受自己的过往，并将之抛在身后，开始一种崭新的生活。在这个希望的喜年中，我们要在祈祷中惦记那些受苦和感到气馁的人。我们的生活无论有什么问题或不如意，我们都要转向耶稣，承认我们渴望得到治愈，并接纳他所许诺的自由和新生命。现在圣父教宗将用意大利语问候大家。
Rivolgo il mio cordiale saluto alle persone di lingua cinese. Cari fratelli e sorelle, vi incoraggio ad amare Dio e il prossimo con generosità. A tutti la mia benedizione.
I extend my warm greetings to all Chinese-speaking people. Dear brothers and sisters, I encourage you to love God and your neighbor generously. I bless you all.
我降福大家。
And now the Holy Father will be greeted by the Portuguese-speaking faithful, and the summary will be read in Portuguese.
Por todas as intenções do seu ministério apostólico universal. Ao final da audiência, cantaremos a oração do Pai Nosso em latim. Depois, o Santo Padre concederá a bênção apostólica de modo especial às crianças, aos idosos e aos doentes. Abençoará também os rosários e demais objetos de devoção que cada um traz consigo. Leio agora um resumo da catequese que o Santo Padre acaba de pronunciar. Hoje continuamos a falar das curas realizadas por Jesus. A paralisia é usada nos evangelhos para indicar, entre outras coisas, aquelas situações para as quais não vislumbramos uma saída, sentindo-nos muitas vezes resignados e sem esperança. O caso evangélico do paralítico que não consegue chegar na piscina do templo mostra como é mais fácil colocar a culpa dos nossos problemas nos outros do que assumir as próprias responsabilidades. Alimenta-se assim uma visão fatalista onde o mundo parece conspirar contra nós. Jesus, ao contrário, indo ao encontro daquele homem, mas também de todos os que passam por dificuldades, ensina-nos a não nos deixarmos ser vencidos pelo imobilismo e pelo desespero, a tomar nas mãos as rédeas da própria vida e seguir adiante, com a certeza de que Cristo é o único necessário. Agora o Santo Padre saúda em italiano os fiéis de língua portuguesa.
Un affettuoso saluto a tutti i pellegrini provenienti dai paesi di lingua portoghese. Fratelli e sorelle, facciamo attenzione a non dimenticare la nostra parte nell'economia della salvezza. Dio, con la sua grazia, è il grande protagonista, ma il Signore conta sulla nostra attiva collaborazione per guarirci da ogni infermità fisica o spirituale. Gesù, medico dei corpi e delle anime, vi benedica.
Eis a tradução das suas palavras. Uma carinhosa saudação a todos os peregrinos provenientes dos países de língua portuguesa.
A warm greeting to all pilgrims coming from Portuguese-speaking countries. Brothers and sisters, let us be careful not to forget our role in the economy of salvation. God, by His grace, is the great protagonist, but the Lord relies on our active cooperation to heal us from all physical and spiritual infirmities. May Jesus, the physician of bodies and souls, bless you. And now the greetings will be read in Arabic, along with the catechesis summary.
وشكرهم البنوي ويرفقونها بصلواتهم الدائمة إلى الله من أجل قداستكم وخدمتكم كخليفة القديس بطرس. في نهاية هذه المقابلة سنرتل معا صلاة الأبانا باللغة اللاتينية، ثم سيمنح الأب الأقدس جميع الحاضرين البركة الرسولية، ويشمل بها جميع أحبائكم وخاصة الأطفال والمتزوجين حديثاً والمسنين والمرضى والمتألمين بآلام شديدة. وسيبارك كذلك المسابح والأشياء التقوية التي يحملها معه كل واحد منكم. إليكم ملخص التعليم المسيحي لقداسة البابا لاوون الرابع عشر. تكلم قداسة البابا اليوم على الشفاء المقعد في إطار تعليمه في موضوع يسوع المسيح هو رجاؤنا، وقال: صعد يسوع إلى أورشليم وتوقف عند بركة كان يعتقد أن في مائها قوة عجائبية عندما كان يفور. كان يضجع حول البركة جمهور من المرضى المستبعدين من الهيكل. جاء يسوع وتوجه بصورة خاصة إلى مقعد منذ 38 سنة. كان قد استسلم لأنه لم يقدر ولا مرة أن يغطه أحد قط في البركة عندما كان يفور الماء. كان يشعر بالإحباط وأن الحياة هزمته. وجه يسوع إليه سؤالاً: أتريد أن تشفى؟ بسؤال يسوع هذا بيّن للمقعد أهمية أن يستعيد الرغبة في الحياة وتحمل المسؤولية. فحرك يسوع فيه رغبته الحقيقية، إذ ذاك شفاه وأمره أن يقوم ويحمل فراشه معه، رمزاً لماضيه وتاريخه الشخصي، وينطلق بحرية في حياة جديدة. وفي النهاية دعانا قداسة البابا إلى أن نعود إلى قلب المسيح، بيت الرحمة الحقيقي، لنكتشف الشفاء والرجاء. والآن تحية البابا باللغة الإيطالية لأبناء الشرق الناطقين اللغة العربية.
Saluti fedeli di lingua araba, in particolare quelli provenienti dalla Terra Santa. Vi invito ad aprire i vostri cuori a Gesù e ad avere fiducia che Lui è in grado di guarire le ferite della nostra vita e di sollevarci a un'esistenza piena di pace e tranquillità. Il Signore vi benedica tutti e vi protegga sempre da ogni male.
أحيي المؤمنين الناطقين
I greet the Arabic-speaking faithful, especially those coming from the Holy Land. I invite you to open your hearts to Jesus and to trust that He is able to heal the wounds of our lives and raise us to a life full of peace and tranquility. May the Lord bless you all and always protect you from every evil.
وحماكم دائما من كل شر.
And now the final summary of the Holy Father's catechesis will be read in Polish as well as the greetings.
Pielgrzymi z Polski i z innych krajów pragną przekazać Waszej Świątobliwości wyrazy synowskiego oddania i szczerej wierności, zapewniając o modlitwie we wszystkich intencjach Jego apostolskiej posługi. Na zakończenie audiencji zaśpiewamy modlitwę Ojcze Nasz po łacinie. Po jej zakończeniu Ojciec Święty udzieli nam apostolskiego błogosławieństwa, obejmując nim szczególnie dzieci, osoby w podeszłym wieku i dotknięte cierpieniem. Pobłogosławi także różańce i dewocjonalia, jakie pielgrzymi przynoszą ze sobą. A oto streszczenie katechezy Ojca Świętego. Drodzy bracia i siostry, nadal wpatrujemy się w Jezusa, który uzdrawia. Dziś zatrzymajmy się nad uzdrowieniem paralityka. Jezus, udając się do Jerozolimy na święto żydowskie, zatrzymuje się przy bramie, gdzie chorzy czekali na uzdrowienie w sadzawce Betesda, czyli w domu miłosierdzia. To obraz Kościoła, gdzie gromadzą się chorzy, wykluczeni i zniechęceni porażkami, pozbawieni sił do dalszej walki. To do nich przychodzi Jezus, aby ożywić ich nadzieję i zachęcić do podjęcia odpowiedzialności za siebie. Prośmy, abyśmy powrócili do zamieszkania w sercu Chrystusa, w prawdziwym domu miłosierdzia. Obecnie Ojciec Święty pozdrowi nas, Polaków, w języku włoskim.
Saluto cordialmente pellegrini polacchi. Domani nella vostra patria celebrate la solennità del Corpus Domini, riunendovi numerosi alla Eucaristia e partecipando alle processioni per le strade delle città e dei paesi. Organizzate anche concerti di lode, come quello Un solo cuore, un solo spirito a Rzeszów. Questi incontri possano ravvivare la vostra testimonianza di amore a Cristo e l'apertura integrale al Vangelo. Vi benedico di cuore.
Oto słowa Ojca Świętego.
I warmly greet the Polish pilgrims. Tomorrow, in your homeland, you will celebrate the solemnity of Corpus Christi, gathering in great numbers for the Eucharist and participating in processions through the streets of cities and villages. You have also organized praise concerts, such as One Heart, One Spirit in Rzeszów. May these gatherings enliven your witness of love for Christ and your full openness to the gospel. I bless you from my heart. And now the Italian reader greets the Holy Father in the name of the Italian pilgrims, and we remember that at the end of this audience the Holy Father will sing with everyone gathered the Our Father in Latin, and afterwards he will offer his apostolic blessing to all those who are gathered in St. Peter's Square, and especially as well to all of us who are following through the means of modern communication.
Cari fratelli e sorelle,
I extend a warm welcome, dear brothers and sisters. The heart of the church is rent by the conflict that is taking place in the Middle East, especially between Israel and Gaza, Iran. We must not get used to war. We must instead overcome the fixation on arms, but focus on the destruction that they bring. In reality, because in war, modern war, we use the means of scientific arms, the destructive power of which is much greater than much greater than in past times. These weapons cause great destruction, and in that vein, I urge all leaders and to remember that war is always a defeat, and as Pope Pius XII said, nothing is lost with peace. Everything can be lost with war.
Rivolgo un cordiale benvenuto ai pellegrini di lingua italiana.
I extend a warm welcome to the Italian-speaking pilgrims.
In particular, I
greet the faithful of the Diocese of Sora, Cassino, Aquino, Pontecorvo, accompanied by their bishop. Dear friends, I hope that the visit to the tombs of the apostles offers each of you the opportunity for a strong experience of faith, to be apostles of the gospel in your territory. I also greet the priests of Ferrara Comacchio and Brescia, encouraging them to strengthen generous intentions of fidelity to the Lord's call. I affectionately welcome the parishes of Saints Peter and Paul in Montelupone, Saints Chrysanthus and Daria, and Saint Mary, Causa Nostra Laetitia in Rome. I greet the National Association of Labor Consultants, expressing appreciation for their commitment and for their rightful efforts in protecting workers' rights, while respecting the legitimate needs of businesses. My thoughts finally go to the young people, the sick, and newlyweds.
La festa di Corpus Domini che celebreremo
May the feast of Corpus Christi, which we celebrate tomorrow, offer us the opportunity to deepen our faith and our love for the Eucharist. My blessing to you all. And now we join the Holy Father in singing the Our Father in Latin.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Dominus vobiscum,
et cum spiritu tuo,
sit nomen Domini benedictum,
ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum,
adiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini,
qui fecit caelum et terram.
benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
And with the Holy Father's blessing, his apostolic blessing offered to all of those gathered in St. Peter's Square and all of us following on means of modern communication, we see the Holy Father greeting the bishops and cardinals present here at this Mass. At this general audience. And with that, we conclude this live-streamed broadcast of Pope Leo XIV's weekly general audience from St. Peter's Square. Please visit the Vatican News web portal, our Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube accounts for coverage of today's general audience, as well as other Vatican and world news. My name is Devin Watkins, and it has been a pleasure to provide the English language texts for you. On behalf of Vatican Media, I would like to thank all of our sound engineers and our audio coordinators and our media partners who made this broadcast possible. Laudetur Jesus Christus, praised be Jesus Christ.
Kanyamuka